Hi everyone, my name is Ruth. I just left Venus and I am here to share the lessons that I've learned from inner space so that we can all remember who we are. And today I want to talk about my thoughts on the Matrix. I know there's a lot of talk about New Earth and 5D and escaping the Matrix and then unplugging from the Matrix, and yeah, I'm also guilty of that. I love talking about that. But I think it's also important to think about where we are right now, where all of us are in, which is the Matrix. And I want to start this off by answering the question, is the Matrix evil or is the Matrix bad? Insert your word of choice. The short answer, I believe, is no. But let me give you my long answer since that's why you're here. I will start this off by talking about the Matrix within the context of tarot and then moving on into astrology. And let me start this off by talking about the Devil card in the tarot, which is a major arcana card. As you can see here, this is a Devil card. We see the Devil, Baphomet, and two figures who are chained to a black box. This black box symbolizes Saturn, and this Devil card is associated with the astrological sign Capricorn. But before I delve into that, I just want to get into the symbolism. We see the Devil standing upon this black box. We see two figures, a man and a woman, with chains over their necks, loosely I should add, and they're chained to this black box. The basic message of this card I like to think of is that we are free to take the chains off of our necks whenever, but it's a matter of free will and it's a matter of our choice, and a lot of us don't. I associate Saturn, which rules Capricorn, with the Matrix because Saturn is the god of time. Saturn is father time. Saturn is the archetypal father. Saturn is also the taskmaster, also the planet of discipline, just very on the mark, and we are bound to Saturn's rigid sense of time. And when I think about the Matrix, the Matrix that exists today, I think of a world that is rigid and is confined and makes its inhabitants feel trapped and crushed under the constant weight of time, which is Saturn. We feel Saturn's influence, whether it's in our astrological charts, whether it's through our Saturn return that we experience every 29 years. It feels very heavy. So far you might think that, like, Ruth, I thought you said that you didn't think the Matrix was evil or bad, and I still stand by that. But like, you could also say, like I just talked about the Devil, how I see the Matrix as ruled by Saturn, by Capricorn, and by this Devil card. But I started thinking about this a little bit more, and when you think about a lot of depictions of the Devil or Baphomet, the Baphomet is depicted as a man and a woman, so androgynous. So a lot of times Baphomet has breasts like a woman and a penis like a man. It's just two in one. So I was again thinking about duality and Capricorn. When I think about the astrological sign of Capricorn, you also want to look at its opposite or sister sign. Sister astrological signs, it's like two sides of the same coin. Like, they're fundamentally of the same essence but expresses their essence in different ways. So Capricorn's sister sign is Cancer. Cancer is the mother. It is ruled by the moon. It's also associated with emotions, feminine energy. Let's recap. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's associated with the father archetype, and it's masculine energy. And then with this knowledge, I learned that the etymology of the word matrix is derived from the Latin word mater, which means mother, and it eventually morphed into, I think, a fertile woman, or one who bears children, and then later on into the womb. So how does this change our understanding of the matrix from this cold Saturnian time taskmaster system into like this actual womb? Like when you think about your mother's womb, it's comfortable, it's safe. The mother's love is the foundation. We all emanated from the same womb from the beginning of time. Like humanity was birthed from a womb. Like when you think about Cancer is also associated with the crab. The crab has a hard shell with a soft underbelly. So Cancer kind of has to protect its sensitive nature, has to protect its soft side with a hard exterior. And I also think about how this is a good analogy to the Matrix. I think that the Matrix, the current Matrix that we find ourselves in, has been taken over by, nefarious forces that have preyed upon the masses to extract as much energy, life force energy, for their own gain. So that's the current state of the Matrix that needs to die and is on its way out. But when you think about the etymology, the matrix means mother. You could find the analogs pretty easily. We call nature mother, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. So the matrix isn't inherently bad. It feels safe. It feels like a mother's love because it is a mother's love. But it was twisted and perverted to serve the ends of a powerful few that took advantage of a mother's love. I also think about how the Matrix expresses itself through the shadow sides of both Capricorn and Cancer. So in a nutshell, I would say that the shadow side of Capricorn is an authoritarian father, the hard disciplinarian. On the flip side, when you think about the shadow side of Cancer, it's the mother that smothers. It's the mom that doesn't let you leave the home and keeps you tethered to her. So those are the shadow sides of these two zodiac signs. And we're at the point in time where these two shadow sides are being expressed because, yeah, we could say that we want to escape the Matrix, that we want to unplug from the Matrix, but it's so damn hard. We've just been programmed to follow the rules, or else the police will come and arrest you, or they'll take you away from your family, or take your money, or all these threats that are based on reality, in fact, or are just realities that we were programmed, that we were conditioned to have in our mind, so that we don't step out of line and we behave the way that we're supposed to behave, or behave the way that those at the top who control this matrix want us to behave. The current matrix is just the perfect mix of a father's tough love, authoritarianism, mixed with a mother's smothering love. The current matrix is filled with a lot of empty promises, like if you do well in school, you'll get good grades, and then you'll get into a good college, which will get you a good job after you graduate, and then you'll be able to make enough money to buy a house in the neighborhood you want to, and then marry your ideal spouse and have kids, and then do it all over again. But like, I just think about Saturn and time. That system only works, quote unquote, if you follow it to a T. But I say works, quote unquote, because there's only so high that you can get. the current matrix promises that if you follow the steps that I just outlined, you will, I don't know, win eternal glory or just like make enough money to be happy. But the gag is, no matter how much money you make or how well you follow the rules, like, this matrix is rigged so that you never win the game. And that's not how it was built. This matrix literally means mother, a mother's womb. We were all born from the womb of the mother. And then if you want to zoom out a little bit, so if you see this earth as a womb, that's a beautiful metaphor when you take it there. If you think of this spiritual awakening process as leaving the womb, leaving the matrix, the way that the current matrix is set up is that there's this like internal programming that a lot of us have, me included, that like if you leave it, so for example, let me be specific here, if you don't pay your taxes, if you don't pay your debts, your loans, your credit card bills, if you just like go off the grid, something bad will happen. But I am starting to think of it not from like the Capricorn, Saturnian, like authoritarian, like this will happen, this fear-based programming, like, oh, such and such will happen if I don't do this or if I do this, but more from like the mother aspect. Like, the matrix wants you to stay, to feed it, to keep it going. Like, a mom doesn't necessarily want you to leave the nest because, and I'm not a mother, so apologies if I offend any mothers, but I'm just talking from personal experience as a daughter with a mother. But like, a mom doesn't want her kid to go out into the world, or a mother wants to protect her kids for as long as possible, and that's just not feasible, you know, right? Your kid, as soon as, no matter how old your kid is, like, your kid is going to get hurt. But it's the wisdom of the mother, of the parent, to know that the child needs to has to go through experiences themselves to learn. In the matrix, the mother can't necessarily pass on that knowledge. The child has to learn it through direct experience. Leaving the matrix is like leaving the mother's nest, leaving the mother's womb. And it's scary. Like, when we're born, we're crying. It's just like a huge shock to the senses. And so like, it's going to be a huge shock to the senses if we don't play by the rules of this current 3D matrix. But just imagine if we all just like decided to like opt out, we'll just squeeze the current matrix dry of its power and return to the way that we were supposed to experience this 3D world, this earth, this beautiful planet, which is through like a sacred interchange between human and nature, symbiotic relationship. This earth was made for all of us. Like, there is no reason for scarcity. It's just abundance. And it's our mother. It's there to, moving on to the positive expressions of Cancer, of the mother, that the mother provides us with everything, with love, with food, with shelter, all of the basic needs that we have. My message today is, no, the matrix is not evil. It's just that certain people have abused power to rig the matrix in their favor, so that the 99% don't reap the rewards that this earth provides. Going back to what I think are the two astrological rulers of the matrix, which are Cancer and Capricorn. Cancer is the moon and illusion. Capricorn is Saturn and time. And a lot of times the matrix convinces us to buy into this shared illusion that we don't have power, that we are destined to just this one life, that we're not multi-dimensional beings, that what you see is all that can be perceived. That's an illusion. And also, the current matrix is predicated on this invented construct of time. The way that we experience time is just a clock. We work a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. We live for the weekend, repeat until we die. Like, that is such a sad existence. But that's an existence that a lot of us, were programmed to want or to expect. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I honestly believe we only grow old if we expect to grow old. We get wrinkles if we expect to get wrinkles. Like, I know so many people who don't look their age because they kind of like don't buy into this belief that you have to act a certain way because you're like a certain age. Like, that's just stupid. And I also believe that stepping out of the matrix, stepping out of time, really keeps you youthful because you are reconnected with your childlike self, and you become forever young because you're not bound to the rules and regulations of this human construct of time. So those are my thoughts on the matrix, and I hope I helped you think through your present reality from a different perspective. And if you want to escape the matrix and unplug, I am right there with you. I am trying, but it's already said and done. Like, we're already there. Yeah, New Earth is coming. New Earth is already here. Yeah, I'm so grateful for your time and attention today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.